Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the country begins to mourn the loss of its longest living president, Jimmy Carter. And homelessness rates in Kentucky continue to trend upwards as the entire nation struggles with the unhoused community.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee at 6 o'clock on Monday, December 30th. It's time to check on in with our friend meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at the forecast for your morning, as many of us are going to work. But honestly, Megan, some of these days in between Christmas and New Year's just feel unreal, if I'm being honest.
I have to agree with that. It's just like another day, just bridging in between those two big holidays. But we're almost there. We're almost to 2025, and we have a whole new round of holidays as you're heading into the new year. But for today, nothing much to report in terms of the weather. I mean, it's just a normal Monday. Those temperatures, though, are warm. I will say that. We're starting off in the mid 40s for this morning. 44 in Pikeville, Jackson, a little bit warmer as you're traveling towards Monticello, 46 degrees, and a little bit cooler as you're heading more towards Virginia, 37 in Wise. But here are those high temperatures for today. Not as warm as this weekend, but definitely warmer than we will be seeing as we're heading into next weekend. We'll be in the mid 50s for today, and we will still be seeing those rain chances from yesterday move throughout our area and continuing to dry up as you're heading through the next couple of hours. But another rain chance is in the forecast for tonight and into your Tuesday. You can see that on the day planner for today. Really just going to be a nice and cloudy day. We do have maybe a little bit of sun peeking out as you're heading into the afternoon hours. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. This morning, millions around the country are pausing to remember the life of the nation's 39th president, Jimmy Carter. He died yesterday at the age of 100. In Washington, D.C., officials remember Carter as a man who rose from humble beginnings on a peanut farm in Plains, Georgia, to become a Navy officer, Georgia governor, and one-term U.S. president. In Atlanta, there is a makeshift memorial of flowers and messages to former President Carter growing at the Carter Center. One note read simply, "We love you, President Carter." Here's what President Joe Biden had to say about his death.
Today's world, some look at Jimmy Carter and see a man of a bygone era. With honesty and character, faith and humility, it mattered. But I don't believe it's a bygone era. I see a man not only of our times, but for all times.
President-elect also commented on Carter's death. He said Carter, quote, did everything in his power to improve the lives of all Americans. For that, we all owe him a debt of gratitude. Governor Andy Beshear reacted to the former president's death yesterday on social media. The governor's post on X says, quote, Jimmy Carter was a true American. He lived through his faith and values each and every day, lifting up his neighbors and serving our great country through kindness and compassion. Let us all learn from him and honor his memory by leading with love, end quote. Senator McConnell also released a statement saying the former president lived a truly American dream. In the post, he said, quote, Jimmy Carter's character and commitment, just like his crops, were fruits of all American soil. After every season when life led him to lofty service from home, he came back home again, determined to plow his unique experiences and influence into helping others, into building and teaching and volunteering, into further enriching the same soil that had made his life possible, end quote. One of President Carter's lasting legacies is his work with Habitat for Humanity, which creates affordable housing for Americans in need. Carter's work with the nonprofit has made a significant difference across the U.S., including right here in the Commonwealth. WKYT's Maggie Rickerby shows us how.
His legacy is going to continue forever because all of these homes have provided people with so much more than just a house to live in.
Former President Jimmy Carter dedicated his life to service before, during, and after his presidency. Through the annual Carter Work Project, Habitat for Humanity says he helped build more than 4,000 homes in 14 countries.
That makes it possible for people to overcome the tremendous handicap exists all in this country and everywhere else, I think, in the world.
In 1997, Carter helped make a difference in eastern Kentucky alongside volunteers with the Jimmy Carter Blitz.
That was a really ambitious push to build 52 homes in a single week in Appalachia. And the really incredible thing about that, too, is that he was 73 at the time.
We first introduced you to one of many Kentuckians impacted by Carter's work last year, when the former president entered hospice care. Rosetta Salazar's home was built by Habitat for Humanity volunteers, including Carter. She's lived in the same house for 26 years.
He was here every single day. He was here from 6 o'clock in the morning until they decided to quit when it was almost dark at night.
Daly says the impact goes beyond just a house.
And they've provided them with better health, with better academic outcomes, with the ability to make generational changes, and that will live on.
In Lexington, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
New reports show a concerning surge of homelessness across the United States. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development reported that more than 771,000 people were living without housing in 2024. It's up 18% from last year. In Kentucky, the report found a 9.8% increase. But those who work with the unhoused communities say those numbers could be even larger than what's being documented.
The one that they leave out are those who are in institutions, those who are in treatment programs, those who are in jails, hospitals, etc., who within 30 days will be released and go back to homelessness.
Ramsey believes a lack of affordable housing is a major reason for the higher rate. She says there are numerous groups around the Commonwealth working year-round to put an end to homelessness. On Friday, the Chinese government placed new sanctions on 7 companies in response to recent U.S. military sales and aid in Taiwan. China objects to American military assistance for Taiwan and often imposes sanctions after a sale or aid package is announced. China says relevant senior executives of the companies are also sanctioned. Any assets they have in China will be frozen, and organizations in China are prohibited from engaging in any activity with them. Police are stepping up patrols as the new year approaches. The Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign runs until New Year's Day. State transportation officials say last year there were more than 4,000 crashes due to impaired driving. They say to make sure you have a sober designated driver if you do plan on drinking.
This morning, we're on the warmer side of things, and while it is colder than we saw yesterday, don't be fooled. It's still going to be warmer than it normally is this time of year. We're expecting those temperatures for our highs to be in the mid-40s, but that's what we're seeing today. And thankfully, we're not seeing too much in terms of fog. Only really looking at Harlan at half-a-mile visibility, but that humidity is quite high today, so some places could still be seeing that. Here is the temperature at Pine Mountain this morning in the low 40s, but throughout the rest of the region, expect low 40s to mid 40s. And as you're going closer to Virginia, could be a little bit cooler, seeing the upper 30s for today. Now, here are those forecast highs, though. We will continue to see that temperature warm up into the mid 50s. With Jacksboro getting to the high 50s, 59 degrees. And if they see enough sun, could see that 60-degree mark being hit for today. And for satellite and radar, we're still watching the remainder of the rain from yesterday move through our area. But we're not just quite done. We do have another chance picking up as you're heading into your overnight hours and into your New Year's Eve. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Officials are stressing the importance of air travel safety after 2 catastrophic crashes this month.